boxing. He had a great affinity for boxers, not only for their toughness and their gameness, but how human they were. And this is another representative of that boxing category. Pete Holm boxed in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. He's got a great story, a Golden Gloves champ, heavyweight champ. Looks still in great shape. I don't want to go a few rounds with him, but he looks pretty good shape. His record said he was 7-2 or 7-3. What was it, 7-3 in pro fights? But he tells me he got screwed in one of them by a referee, Mark. So actually, he's 8-2 as a pro. And he's a great story, and we'd like to have him come up here and talk a little about that. Pete Holm.
Well, before I get to my prepared text, I have to say that this is reminiscent of going into the ring. You got the butterflies, you feel a little nervous. Then the bell rings. You get punched in the mouth, and it just goes away. And I know there's 3 out here that have already punched me in the mouth. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more that would like to. So, come on, somebody come up and relax me. But no, first they mentioned Tom Youngans, and again, I haven't got to my text yet. We all know Tom wasn't afraid to throw those gloves off and take a punch at somebody, and his coach is right there, Del Bravo. He trained Tom Youngans in the gym, taught him how to throw that punch, as he did myself. Great trainer. Okay, so first I'd like to thank the Mancini staff and the selection committee for honoring me with this wonderful and prestigious award. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. And of course, going back to Mr. Bravo, I have to thank Del Bravo for always being in my corner, being a good friend. I couldn't have done it without you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm up here because of boxing, but if it was not for my attending school at UW River Falls and my desire to travel, I may not have ever started boxing. In '71, I went on the study abroad program to Copenhagen, Denmark. I was there for a year, and my first 5 amateur bouts were there. After a year studying and boxing in Copenhagen, I returned to River Falls, continued with school, but also started coming up here to train at the Rice Street Gym, which was then located in Stem Hall near the Civic Center. In '74, the gym's heavyweight was Joe Abbott, and he was not challenged in the St. Paul tournament that year and was declared the champ. I went along with that. I knew little about the boxing scene in Minnesota. I was new to the gym, and no one knew much about me either. Del was the only one that knew that I had a few fights in Denmark. But a day before the Upper Midwest tournament was to start, Del Bravo calls me and he tells me Joe Abbott isn't feeling well, and if I can get up there to the Leamington Hotel in Minneapolis for the weigh-in, I can take his place at the tournament, and which I did. So my first fight in this country was against Louis Holtenson, the Minneapolis champ. I beat him. I remember knocking him down in the second round, but that was about it. I got a thumb in the eye. I suffered an eye injury in that fight. I went to the hospital in an ambulance. It was terrible pain, and I had eye surgery. So obviously I could not advance to the next round. And it was several months before I even thought about fighting again. But in '75, I'm back in the ring, and I have to fight Tom Campbell. I have to fight Tom Campbell for the St. Paul title. Well, things got off to a rough start. He dumps me in the first round. I come back the corner, Del Bravo punches me. He's so disappointed in my performance, he smacks me around, you know? So I have to improvise. I go to plan B. So I come out that last round, I hit Tom's fist so hard with my face, I break his hand. Okay, I didn't win the fight, but with a broken hand, Tom could not advance to the Upper Midwest tourney. I, being runner-up, I take his place. 3 fights later, I'm the champ. Upper Midwest won the title. Now in '76, I wasn't given a rematch, Mr. Campion. So I was unchallenged in St. Paul, and I went to the Upper Midwest, and I won my first 2 fights, lost in the finals, and I was runner-up that year. But '77 was a great year. I defeat both Tom Cross. He could have come up and taken a punch at me. I know he wants to, because our fight ended poorly, didn't it, Tom? I fought Gene Schultz first, and I stopped him in the 3rd round. And then I fought Tom Cross, and I had a slight cut over my eye, and they went to the scorecards after the 2nd round. And they're very careful about getting cut in amateur boxing. They don't want it to get worse. And so they stopped the fight after the 2nd round, went to the scorecards and gave it to me. And I know Mr. Cross would love to have one more round, right? Wouldn't you tell? Where's Tom? We never did get that 3rd round. But and so I won the Upper Midwest in '77. And the Nationals were in Hawaii. And so I fought Ronaldo Snipes there, and he beat me, but I say aloha to amateur boxing then and turned pro. And I made a promise to myself at that time that I'm only going to fight till I'm 30, then I'm going to retire with $1 million. Well, I kept one of those promises. Okay, but you know, I also quit going to school, but you know, all this money I was going to make, you know, what did I need schooling for? But so the next couple of years, I have 7 pro fights here in the States, and in '79, I'm invited back to Copenhagen to fight. And I say, well, what have I got to lose? Maybe a few more brain cells, but then again, I've gotten along pretty well without them so far, so I say, why not? I go back to Denmark. I have 3 more pro fights there. I win 2, I lose the 3rd, and then I quit. But I had been given a work visa because of boxing. And something that is not easy to get a work visa in Denmark. And literally, I had to fight for it. But this presented me with a unique opportunity to get a real job in Denmark, which I did, at the Sheraton Hotel in Copenhagen. And it was there where I met several gentlemen that worked in the incentive travel division for Carlson Marketing. And that led to my working as an on-site coordinator for incentive travel companies. But after 10 years on the road and having traveled to more than 100 countries, I went back to school. And finally, after student teaching at Johnson High in 1993, I graduated, taking me only 25 years to get my 4-year degree. I still spend a lot of time at Johnson High School. Currently, I'm working there as a building substitute teacher, which means I show up every day, regardless, and they do need help every day. And then the administration will place me in a classroom where I can do the least harm. And tonight, being a school night, I have to wrap this up because I have to go to school tomorrow. Once again, thank you, Mancini's, thank you, Mr. Bravo, and thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.